Choose what your desktop looks like. If you're a Windows user, your desktop environment probably isn't very far from traditional. Pretty much all Windows users have the same desktop. You can still change your wallpaper or the color of your Windows decorations. Default is blue, but basically you'll still end up with the usual Windows interface. With Linux, choice has been brought back to you. You're no longer forced to accept the one and only way to manage multiple windows. You can choose among many programs, which are called desktop environments. But don't worry, you won't need to worry about that, since you'll have a pretty good default. The point is you can change it if you wish. Why does your Windows get slower day after day? Windows has a number of design flaws, resulting in it becoming slower and not lasting very long. You've probably heard more than once someone say my computer is getting sluggish, I'm gonna reinstall. Reinstalling Windows solves the problem. Until next time. Linux lets you spend more time working, less time reinstalling over and over again. Environment. How can Linux be different from Windows when it comes to environment, you might ask. After all, they're both just pieces of software with little impact on pollution or climate change. Well, choosing Linux can actually have an influence on the environment. As the hardware requirements for Windows or macOS get higher and higher, a lot of computers are made obsolete and would need to be disposed of. But since Linux runs pretty well even on very old machines, they can be recycled for various purposes: storage, internet access, multimedia box, etc., instead of being thrown out. No backdoors in your software. A little while ago, October 2008, a lot of Chinese Windows users, most of them by pirated copies of Windows, saw something strange happen with their computer. Every hour, their screen would go black for a few seconds. Nothing to really prevent you from working, but it can easily make you go nuts. Microsoft had added a bit of code and ingredient to the recipe, saying if this is detected as a pirated copy of Windows, make the screen black for a few seconds every hour. Now the point is not that the software was pirated. Pirating software is bad, period. The point is that these users got an automatic update for Windows. Updates usually fix bugs and add new features, without knowing how it would affect their system. No one knew. That's why you can be sure open source software doesn't do bad things behind your back. The community keeps a close eye on all the recipes. Enjoy free and unlimited support. One of the great assets of the open source community, and Linux in particular, is that it's a real community. Users and developers really are out there, on web forums, on mailing lists, on IRC channels, helping out new users. They are all happy to see more and more people switch to Linux, and they are happy to help them get a grip on their new system. Too many windows. Use workspaces. Workspaces is a feature I would never trade for anything else. You probably only have one screen, right? Try Linux, and you have four. Well, you can't actually look at the four of them at the same time, but this doesn't matter since your eyes can't look in two directions at once, right? On the first screen, let's put your word processor. On the second one, your instant messenger software. On the third one, your web browser. So when you're writing something in your word processor and you want to check out something on the web, no need to review all your windows to find your browser, stacked all the way behind the others. You just switch to your third screen and voila, here it is. No big mess in your start menu. If you use Windows and have installed quite a few pieces of software on your computer, chances are your start menu starts to look something like list of softwares. Looks pretty normal to you. Well, you're probably used to this by now, but isn't it a bit of a mess? And it gets worse the more you install software. All installable pieces of software for Linux come with information on what kind of software they contain, so that the user, that would be you, doesn't need to do anything to keep applications neatly sorted into categories. Reporting bugs. If you find a bug in Windows, you can basically wait and pray that Microsoft will fix it fast, and if it compromises your system's security, you would have to pray twice as hard. You might think that reporting that bug to Microsoft so that they can fix it more quickly must be easy. Well, think again. There is an interesting article about this. What if Microsoft doesn't even notice the bug? Well then, let's hope the next version of Windows will fix it, but you'll need to pay another few $100. Nearly all open source software, including Linux distributions, have a bug tracking system. You can not only file bug reports, and you're encouraged to do so, explaining what the problem is, but you can see what happens next. Everything is open and clear for everyone. Developers will answer. They also might ask a little extra information to help them fix the bug. You will know when the bug has been fixed, and you will know how to get the new version still for free, needless to say. So here you have people taking care of your problems, keeping you informed about it, and all that for free. If the problem is solved on your system, it will be on everyone else's. It's in everyone's interest to work together to make software better. This is how open source works. Are you tired of restarting your computer all the time? Have you just upgraded one or two little things on your Windows system with Windows Update? Please reboot. Have you just installed some new software? Please reboot. Does your system seem unstable? Try to reboot. Everything will probably work better after that. Linux basically doesn't need to restart. Whether you install new software, even very big programs, or perform routine upgrades for your system, you will not be asked to restart the computer. It is only necessary when a part from the heart of the system has been updated, and that only happens once every several weeks. Let your old computer have a second life. Windows requires more and more hardware power as its version number increases 95982000, ME, XP, etc. So if you want to keep running Windows, you need to constantly buy new hardware. But I can't see any good reason for so fast an evolution. Of course, many people need a lot of computer power, and new hardware and technologies are really helping them. But for most users who surf the web, read and write emails, write text files and slides, what's the point of buying a new computer every 2, 3 or 4 years, apart from letting computer vendors earn more money? What is exactly the profound reason why your computer can't do any more of what it did perfectly well 5 years ago? Linux runs perfectly well on older hardware, on which Windows 7 would probably even refuse to install, or leave you waiting for 20 seconds after each click. Of course, Linux won't make a race winner out of your 12-year-old computer, but it will run very well on it and allow you to perform usual tasks, surfing the web, writing documents, etc., just fine. The very computer that delivers this page to you is not very young and runs Linux. If you can read this, then it is up and running, and if the website loads slowly, blame my internet connection only. Play hundreds of games for free. Hundreds of games are released under a free license. 2D, 3D, puzzles, war games, online multiplayer games, you name it. And if you're interested in games, you might like Quake 3 running on Linux on 24 screens. Help other countries and your own. Microsoft is an USA company, and its success is great for the American economy. But if you don't live in the USA, when you buy proprietary software Windows, about half of the money goes directly to the software company's HQ Microsoft's. That money leaves your country, while the other half stays in sales commissions, etc. No technical benefits. Your country is not producing anything, and you don't even need qualified people to sell boxes. That leads to it professionals with no high-level knowledge who only install and configure proprietary software without the option of modifying/learning/customizing it. With free software Linux, the economy and its professionals' knowledge of your country could improve, since there could be a lot of small/medium companies customizing solutions, providing support, consulting, etc. People who know how to do things and retain money in your country will benefit from it, rather than people who just sell boxes with a predefined sales pitch, sending your money offshore, leaving it professionals without real knowledge about how things work. Use MSN, AIM, IC, Jabber, with a single program. You may have accounts for several instant messaging services, such as MSN, Yahoo, IC, Jabber, AIM, Facebook Chat, etc. While running Windows or Mac OS X, you probably need one program to connect to each one of those: MSN Messenger for MSN, IC for IC, etc. With Pidgin, the instant messenger for Linux, it exists for Windows as well, and for Mac OS X with the name AIM, you can connect to all these services at once with this one program and see all your buddies at the same time.